We head into our Storm, who begin their regular season, their 2024 season, with their core four this upcoming week. So we'll go into the past week of news for the Storm. May 7th versus the Mercury was their one and only home preseason game and their last preseason game ahead of 2024. Versus the Phoenix Mercury at Climate Pledge Arena. I almost said Climate Pledge Arena. The Storm would win 85-59. This game was not televised, which is unfortunate. Our player of the game, guard Jewel Lloyd, the Gold Mamba, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal on the night. As the Storm were able to get a final sort of tune-up game here ahead of what should be an exciting season. The Storm got out to a nice lead early, a 28-16 advantage through the first quarter. They would continue to outscore the Mercury in every quarter except for the final one, and even in the fourth quarter, they were only outscored by 1 point. Nice to be able to go out and get a 29-point lead, get some nice minutes there from your starters, get some install there. There was a lot of concern with this game about how, you wanted some of the folks wanted the young players to play. And to Coach Quinn's point, she was asked pregame, what she wanted to see from this game. And part of her answer was regarding wanting to ensure that the team was able to work on, installing some of the things that they'd been working on in camp. Because to that point, unlike some teams and leagues like baseball or football, maybe even soccer to that point, these different teams aren't always able to get a ton in during the preseason and get everything set up and get their game completely set. That's not always the case here. So, it was very interesting to be able to, hear that and also see the reaction from some fans who were like, oh, why don't you play the young players? Because I get it. I do. You want to get some of these players whose spot aren't necessarily set in stone, get them minutes, but, that's not always the case. So, you saw some of the starters get some key points. Nneka Ogwumike had 15 points, 3 rebounds in this one. Very efficient. We look across here. Diggins-Smith, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. In this one, you're able to get Jordan Horston as a Magbagor back. Jordan Horston played some great defense. 9 rebounds, 7 of them defensive rebounds, 1 assist and 1 steal in this game for Jordan Horston as she's coming into her sophomore season. Nice to get Ezzy Magbagor back. 5 points, 3 blocks. 6 rebounds in this one. Nika Mule did get 6 points off the bench, 20 minutes of action, 2 for 3 shooting, 3 points. 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 personal fouls in this one as well. Looking across it there. So, I understand the want for getting the young players, but also on the other hand, knowing that there's some stuff that some of the players who might not be considered young need to learn as well is important to note in there too. So we look over here immediately after the next day, the Storm announced a few cuts. The team announced that they had waived forwards Kayla Davis and Quay Miller and center Elena Coates. Davis averaged 14 minutes over 2 preseason games this season with the Storm, pulling down 7 rebounds and scoring 3 points with a steal and an assist. She had previously played in Seattle in 2022 on a pair of hardship contracts, one of the team of 3 teams she saw minutes with that season. She was originally drafted by Dallas and spent 3 seasons with the Wings from 2017 to 2019, averaging 6 points and 19.2 minutes in 33 games in her most recent season with the team in 2019. Quay Miller appeared in both preseason Storm games, averaging 5.5 minutes and recording a rebound and a steal. The former Kent Ridge High School star began her collegiate career at the University of Washington before she ended up transferring to Colorado for her final 3 collegiate seasons, twice earning all Pac-12 honors and averaging 10.9 points and 7.2 rebounds in 99 games with the Buffs. Coates scored 6 points along with 2 blocks, 2 rebounds, and a steal in 16 minutes of preseason action with Seattle. Overall, Coates has appeared in 95 WNBA games in her 5-year career, earning her first WNBA championship as a member of the Aces last season. Coates appeared in 10 regular season games to end the season with the Aces and then saw action in 6 playoff games. This one's a piece of, and then also with the preseason game, the only player listed on the pregame report against Phoenix was Jade Melbourne, who was out with concussion protocol. A couple pieces of news on the 9th. One is technically league related, but we're going to go over anyway. The WNBA announced that they're set to institute a full charter program during the 2024 season. In an official release from the league, the WNBA announced a full league-wide charter program that will be phased in beginning with the start of the 2024 regular season. The groundbreaking initiative marks a significant milestone in the league's history and is a result of a successful execution of the league's strategic business transformation over the past few years. The program will be primarily operated by permanent sports charter Delta Airlines. Also in the official release, in February 2022, the WNBA raised $75 million in capital and has been deploying the capital in strategic areas such as marketing, digital transformation, globalization, and fan engagement. The league's media and corporate partners have been instrumental in investing in the league's rise, and the league's 28th season tips off on Tuesday. Other piece of news on the 9th, the Storm announced a list of different activities and activations for that opener on the 14th, presented by Providence Swedish. That first game of the year against the Minnesota Lynx has a tip-off time of 7 o'clock at Climate Pledge Arena. The Storm will be wearing their new 2024 WNBA Nike Rebel uniforms. Fans will be able to purchase those at the Storm Team Shop within the Climate Pledge Arena, which is the layer location at Climate Pledge Arena if you're unaware and you've been to Kraken games before. The first 5,000 fans who arrive to Climate Pledge Arena for tip-off will receive a commemorative championship court collectible on behalf of Providence Swedish. The unique and highly sought-after giveaway is made from the court on which the Storm won the 2004, 2010, and 2018 championships and celebrates the Storm's 25 seasons and championship pedigree. In addition to the court giveaway and in celebration of the long-standing partnership between the Storm and Providence Swedish, all babies born on May 14th at Swedish First Hill campus this year will receive their own giveaway, a beanie to commemorate the start of the 25th season. On March 18th of 2024, Storm CFO and longest tenured employee Tricia McLean passed away. In honor of Tricia, the Storm ownership group announced a $50,000 donation to the Swedish Heart and Vascular Institute. The check will be presented to the Swedish Heart and Vascular Institute on opening night. In a quote from Ginny Gilder, Storm co-owner, Gilder said, "Tricia lived with such heart, an adventurer, constantly on the joyful search for fun, leaving a trail of family and friends who loved being with her. We are making this gift in her name to the Swedish Heart and Vascular Institute to support increased heart health for women and the loving spirit of sharing the opportunity to live life as Tricia did." So that's a really nice piece to see. We go over to the other piece of team news that we've got for you with Storm on May 11th. The team traded guard Jade Melbourne to the Washington Mystics on this day as camp cuts loom. The Storm received a 2025 third-round pick, and the Mystic received guard Jade Melbourne. This trade left the Storm with 12 players on the roster, needing to cut their roster down to 11 players. Melbourne, who the Storm originally drafted in the third round of the 2022 WNBA draft, played in 29 games as a rookie in 2023, averaging 2.6 points, 1.2 assists, and 1.2 rebounds across 10.5 minutes per game. She scored a season-high 10 points on 3 of 5 shooting while adding a season-best 5 rebounds in a block against the Los Angeles Sparks on June 3rd. So tough to see Melbourne cut. I know there was a lot of excitement with her after her WNBL season. This past Storm off season, she was someone who showed a lot. She was a really fearless point guard. She would go to the rim really hard, despite not being, a big player. Point guards typically aren't really tall. But considering, how tough this camp is going to be, the cuts are going to be, People are going to have to move. Favorites we're going to lose their spots. And again, considering the salary cap that the WNBA teams are currently working with and the roster limits that they're working with, tough decisions are made all the time. This is not anything new. So it's just tough to see another good player somewhat become victim of it. I mean, she's going to a different team, so there's that. So lots of excitement. Again, as I do with every Storm segment, since Christian's joined us, I want to push you to the Storm segment, Storm coverage that we've got on Circling Seattle Sports as well as Converge Media. As it needs to be said, because there's some other stuff going on in Converge Media right now, Circling Seattle Sports is the leading and only provider of sports coverage on Converge Media, and we've been doing so since 2021. Anybody else is just trying to replicate it. So with that, you go to the Circling Seattle Sports part of the Converge website, or you go to Circling Seattle Sports' website, and the Storm coverage, you'll find a bunch of Christian's work. He's been hard at work. He's got a bunch of other stuff he's working on as well, and we're really looking forward to seeing how the season goes along with coverage, and you'll likely see him involved in the show here as well. So we look at it. In addition to the opener on the 14th, the Storm have 2 other games this week, 3 in total. May 14th, that opener versus the Lynx is a 7 o'clock start time at Climate Pledge Arena. It is the 2024 season and home opener for the Storm, so it's a big one to open up the league. Again, as I've talked about before, the Storm are expected to be a team that competes this year, just considering the additions of Skylar Diggins-Smith and Nneka Ogwumike to go along with stars such as Jewel Lloyd and Ezi Magbagor. If you're not able to join us at Climate Pledge Arena, in terms of local TV, you can watch on Fox 13 Plus and Amazon Prime Video in Seattle. Bally Sports North Extra as well. It's on the WNBA League Pass, which is, I believe, only $35 for the year, which is a pretty good price. And it's also going to be on ESPN3. May 17th at the Lynx is a 6:30 p.m. start. First road game of the year, so the Storm kind of play a home and home. That game at the Target Center in Minneapolis will be broadcast on ION and, of course, on League Pass. And then to round out the week, May 19th, Sunday, on the road in Washington against the Mystics is a 12 p.m. start, a noon start, at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C. You can watch it on Amazon Prime Video in Seattle, as well as WNBA League Pass.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch the Seattle Storm away games this year?
Away games. Well, Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, so I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. See you all here.